before we get to Cambodia, you said like so had you never stayed in a hostel before you showed up to Koh Tao or
when
Thailand?
we went to with the school, like for these, we have these travels in the school for a week, right? In I don't know, like was it second grade, fifth grade, and then the last travel when you're 15, 16. Yeah, these travels, yeah, but didn't enjoy that as well. Like I like to have my own room, you know. I grew up in
Yeah.
a wealthy family. Why should I share a room now? You know, it's like that kind of thing. And after that, never. And I promised myself I would never do that. Never.
But isn't like I didn't that trip was the first time, not in Koh Tao, but in Southeast Asia is the first time I stayed in a hostel, and I was 33 at the time, and I found that so refreshing. I'm like, oh, why didn't I do this when I was younger? You get to meet people, you get to part of traveling for me is about experiencing other people, and I felt like I've been doing it wrong my whole life. It was so isolating to be just staying in a hotel by yourself and you know, hoping to awkwardly approach somebody.
Yeah, like everything overall always has like, it's like a good and a bad side to it, like everything in life, right? And this is the same. I should have done that type of traveling way more often in the past, because even though I don't like sharing a room and hearing people snore or farting or, you know.
Sorry.
I'm not saying that, man. I'm pretty sure I farted as well, so it's cool. But on the other hand, as you said, it's like you meet just so many people that you would never come in contact with normally. And what I figured out very early on was like that pretty much everyone who's doing that type of backpacking does it for a reason. There's just a few people that just love that travel style, but most of the people, they are doing that because they're looking for something. So their mindset is different right away when you meet them, because they are more open, because they want to get out of their comfort zone. They want to meet other people that are from other countries, that share different experiences and stuff. So it's the way of communicating with these people is very different than even if you would meet someone in a normal hotel vacation kind of thing.
Yeah. I also feel like we got along. Lance was there as well, and I do feel like I at that point had established in my life that like I like Germans, like I like the German people, the mentality. But every time I would say that to a German, they'd say, "Yeah, but a German who's traveling, a German who's staying in a hostel, this is so different than." Like a German national who doesn't leave the country or maybe has. But I think that that's true for every. So in other words, I would be like, oh my God, Germans are amazing. And then Germans would be like, no, I'm traveling to get away from Germans. And I would feel the same way about Americans. But then again, an American staying in a hostel is probably a lot different than someone in Idaho who's never left their town,
Honestly, I don't know, because besides the fact that I met you during the travel, but every other American that I was meeting during my travels after I met you in the beginning, it was always the same type of stereotype discussion, man. Hey, man, where you from? Yeah, I'm from Germany. Oh, Germany, yeah, Nazis, yeah. So what do you think about the Nazis? And I was like, fuck, man. Like, honestly, like, yeah, we had kick-ass uniforms. What the fuck do you want now? Like, you know?
That would be hilarious. I would love that if you led with like, dude, those uniforms are pretty fire.
They were, man. Imagine, man. It's like if that would have, like, all the shitty things that happened apart, all the bad things apart, but if that would have never happened, and you would make a movie and you would tell the director, listen, I got an amazing idea. We create uniforms, okay, and we print like a skull on it. And then the director would say, no, man, it's too much, man. No one is buying it. But they just did it. They just went with it.
Weird. Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's like a logo designer out there who worked with them in the past. You could look up if you want that same feel.
Far as I know, Hugo Boss was designing the uniforms. Not sure if that's true, but that's what I heard.
Let's run with it. Let's just say yes.
Yeah, because it sounds amazing, man.
Yeah. Well, I was actually, when I first got to Turkey like a month ago, there was a couple Pakistani guys and there was a German in the hostel, and they just came out of the gate with the Hitler stuff. And I'd never seen that before, where I was like, really? Like, this is just so like hack to be like leading like cool. It'd be like if someone came up to me and they were, and they were like, guns and trucks and fucking whatever. I don't know. Like, it's just so narrow minded. And it's like,
True.
yeah, I mean, and if you threw that back at them, of course, there could be stereotypes about any culture, but I'm sure they wouldn't. I'm sure they'd be like, no, I'm not just like whatever, running around with a turban on my head, like driving a taxi, eating curry, sitting on the ground, like whatever. There's like different.
True.
I'm gonna get myself in trouble with this, but
no,
yeah,
no worries,
like,
man. It's like, hey, it should never supposed to be politically correct, as long as the message, the core of the message itself is a good thing, right? So, and I think the reason for all that stereotype kind of crap is just, hey, humans like it's simple. This is like my deep. I'm deeply sure about the fact that everyone likes it as simple as possible. That's why we are looking for a system or a structure or a stereotype or anything in everything. If you look into the sky and you for 10 minutes you will see anything in clouds, because we are looking for that type of shit. And it's the same, like, that one, I don't know, that one has a gun and that one has a gun. Also, every American has a gun, like, and then it gets like that multiplied by that movies and all that pop culture thing that is going on. So all these stereotypes create in people, I think to a certain degree need it, because the world is super complicated and fast. So it helps if you could divide everything down to a digestible amount of information of the world. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. It's just a shame when a traveler who's pushing their own national boundaries and experiencing other cultures would then apply those limited stereotypes to another traveler who's doing the same thing. That's just kind of a shame,
True. That's true.